Everyone, my name is Tracie McGinnity. I work in Wilmot Shared Resources, and this seminar series is supported by Dr. Vivian A. Palladoro, the Wilmot Shared Resources Lunch and Learn Seminar Series through her endowment. Today, we are discussing like a town hall format of shared resource updates and kind of an overview of what the shared resources provides. So, brief outline of our talk. We're going to go through some of the updates in our services, some of the additional shared resources that people may not be aware of, touching base on those. We'll be discussing some of the progress we've made with the Western New York Research Cores Collaborative with our partners at Roswell and UB. And when I asked about getting your phones out, we have a voucher opportunity feedback. So we have a brief question that we'd like to kind of get some insight. So if we were to offer a voucher program in the future, kind of what would most benefit our Wilmot members and trainees, as well as some announcements at the end. Yeah, feel free to grab some lunch at the front. All right, so to start, shared resources are led by Dr. John Ashton and myself. Dr. Ashton is the Associate Director of Shared Resources and leads the operational and financial oversight, so marketing, budgetary, and he also helps foster the collaboration between the various shared resources, Wilmot investigators, and our shared resources directors. As staff scientist, my role, I also serve as the community outreach and engagement shared resource liaison. And I help with management, strategic planning, as well as the assessment of our shared resources. So a lot of what I do also involves kind of polling our research community to make sure that we're providing the services and workshops and other training opportunities to allow you guys to grow in your experience as scientists, and also help best serve you to get the data you need for your research projects. And we do this through various meetings. We attend our scientific leadership committee meetings, our scientific advisory committee meetings for all of our shared resources. We also have meetings between ourselves as well as with shared resource directors meeting quarterly. And then again, we present at our research program meetings as needed. And we also will pull members at these meetings to kind of query what their needs are. If we have an interest in purchasing new equipment, we kind of get a feel for it by asking members and attendees at these meetings. The shared resources are an integrated network of expertise. We are led by 11 shared resource directors. Leading the biobank is Dr. Brad Mills. Biostats and bioinformatics shared resources led by Dr. McCall and Dr. Peterson. Our flow core is led by Dr. Bushnell and Dr. Mossman. Dr. Ashton also leads our genomics shared resource. And we also have human biophysiology shared resource led by Michelle Janelsons. Our imaging and radiation shared resource led by Dr. Marples and Dr. Thomas. And then finally, we have our metabolomics shared resource led by Josh Munger and Brad Smith. So when I was looking at the registration service, couple questions about clarifying any differences between our institutional cores and those that Wilmot supports. So there is some overlap between the institutional and shared resources cores. So our institutional CART resources include the biosupply, biosafety level 3. We have the Center for Advanced Microscopy and Nanoscopy, or CALM. That is also part of our imaging and radiation shared resource. So some are both, some have splits. We also have our cold storage core, electron microscopy, and our mass spec resource that are supported by CART. On the Wilmot side of things, we have our animal resource, which I'll be discussing a little bit more. Our biobank, our biostats and bioinformatics shared resource, our human biophysiology shared resource, our imaging and radiation shared resource. So the radiation aspect of this core is supported by Wilmot, not just as well as the imaging column. I listed the animal resource twice. We also have our flow and metabolomics resources that are supported both by CART as well as Wilmot. So our cores are throughout the medical campus. If you see a yellow dot, that's a CART resource. A yellow dot within a red star is and then a red star alone is our Wilmot supported shared resources. So our genomics core is located over in Wilmot, but also in Wilmot, we do have a flow cytometer there as well. That's to kind of support our Wilmot investigators that are located in Wilmot. And then we have several cores kind of right near the yellow elevators and then throughout the medical campus. So now I want to kind of shift gears a little bit. So we also support a couple different services that are not falling under fully developed shared resources, but are still some of our offerings that we provide to users. So these include our animal resource, histology, as well as our screening facility. If you have any animal resource needs, I highly encourage you to reach out to Liz Lemire, whose email's here. And if you have any other shared resources questions or needs, you can also email me as well. Our shared resource website that you can kind of Google and find it there will kind of give you broad overviews of all of our shared resources, but more direct information, I encourage you to reach out to the directors of each core. So Liz supports colony management, experimental services, as well as breeding. And we are recently starting a nude mouse colony here at Wilmot. So if you have any nude mice needs or other C57 Black 6 pet boys, we do provide those as well. And I really do encourage you to contact Liz so that she can help for planning purposes, making sure we have the numbers you require for your experiments. So if you need mice 3 months out, it's a good time to contact Liz, get her on board, let her know what your needs are. We also have a HESCA blood analyzer that's located in Wilmot. So if you weren't aware of this, Liz can help get you trained, get you access, and we do provide a subsidy for Wilmot members. It's located on the 3rd floor of Wilmot. And Liz can also irradiate mice for you over in KMRV. Next, we have our histology core. The services include paraffin and frozen tissue processing, embedding, and sectioning, as well as histological staining. And they also provide guidance and support for histometry and molecular imaging analysis. And in addition to the histology core, we were recently awarded a C6 grant to create the integrated spatial omics and analysis resource. And all of the services that this resource will provide are already current in existence, but with ISOR, we'll help create a centrally located lab facility to carry out spatial omics experiments. We'll have a dedicated facility for the validation of spatial omics data, including the immunohistochemical and immunofluorescent staining of tissues. And we'll also have the co-localization of equipment and expertise. So this grant will help integrate all of our spatial services with our histology core, as well as our biobank and genomics shared resources as well. We also have a screening facility, and if you need any questions or would like to get trained on some of this instrumentation, you can contact Isaac Harris and Sarah Nitko. They are currently running the operations there. They offer several different types of libraries that you can study and utilize to run like toxicity screenings and other experiments for various cell lines. If there's certain drugs that you would like to test, they can help develop the cell lines for you to test them into. And then kind of combining with our animal resource, we can tack onto that and help you bring your in vitro studies into and progress them into in vivo experiments as well. So this is another offering that our shared resources can provide. Shifting gears a little bit, I'm going to talk about our Western New York Research Course Collaborative. This is what we're calling our consortia that we've started with the University at Buffalo, Roswell Park, and us here at the U of R. So this is combining both our CART and our Wilmot Shared Resources, in addition to those provided by UB and Roswell. The goal is to get the necessary agreements and infrastructure in place to facilitate core facilities shared services between our 3 institutes. We'll be able to leverage our proximity and core expertise The focus right now is to work on fee-for-service offerings and to have set rates for collaborative members. Importantly, this collaboration will work through core-to-core pipelines. So you will not be contacting the director at the other partner institute. You'll be working through the genomics core here at the U of R if you need another genomics service that Roswell Park may offer that we don't currently use. So it's kind of our shared resource management staff and our core directors will be leading the charge of these experiments that might need services from another institution. And this will benefit our Wilmot members by streamlining workflows, aligning our expertise, and having greater access to more instrumentation and technologies, as well as cost and time savings. So the progress we've made, so this kind of came about last spring. We had our shared resource management and some of our core directors meet in March. In June of last year, we convened at UB with all of our core directors in attendance and kind of laying the groundwork for initial collaborations and how we can leverage various service offerings from different institutes and how we can work together. From there, our lawyers had an initial meeting to discuss usage agreement templates, and we've kind of made a little bit of progress towards that. And then we had a couple use case meetings for various core facilities. So we have our animal resources, our biorepositories, and our proteomics cores meeting quarterly to discuss any progress and services that we can leverage among our consortia. Importantly, I kind of want to highlight that we've already gotten our core directors on board. Our lawyers are already meeting. We're discussing those user agreements. So hopefully by next month, we'll have a MOU and master service agreement in place so that we can kind of start these projects streamlining through our shared resource management and working together to leverage the facilities at each institute. Use case that I'd like to highlight is our mass spec cores, mainly our metabolomics and proteomics. So at U of R, we have expertise in untargeted metabolomics and proteomics. At Roswell Park, they study a lot of targeted metabolomics projects and they can provide lipidomics guidance. So kind of working hand in hand, we can leverage Roswell's targeted projects. They can utilize our untargeted projects and then kind of help investigators narrow in on projects to study more specific proteins and whatnot. So this is kind of how we envision other cores to work together in the future as well. But this is a good use case that has had some good progress. And we have met with Roswell Park to discuss an S10 submission. So if you have your phone out and you would likely utilize spatial mass spectrometry imaging, MSI, we are currently evaluating a couple different platforms. And if you are unsure or have another type of platform you'd like to utilize, there is a space for that in the REDCap survey, which is what the QR code takes you to. But we're also trying to identify users for this. So if you have NIH funding and you have a project that you would like to use this instrumentation with, we would like to get in touch with you, get your thoughts, really make sure we're bringing the best type of equipment for your research needs, and really getting your feedback would help us. Similarly, we also have a S10 query for the mission biotapestry. So does anybody else need to scan? I'll leave it up for a little bit. So this S10 application would be submitted by Roswell Park. They are leading the efforts, but we are also working together with them to identify users and help provide input for which system we would like to purchase. On U of R's Wilmot side, we are for the mission biotapestry. And if you're interested in this, we don't have a QR code made for it, but you can contact Elizabeth Pritchett. This platform helps identify single cell genomics, single cell studies for single nucleotide variation, copy number variation, and can also do some multi-omics as well. Again, if you have funding and you would like to provide any input or be a listed user in the S10 submission, you can contact Elizabeth. So all these use cases and S10 submissions that we have planned kind of really highlight how we're working together with UB and Roswell. Namely, in the spring, we're going to have a Wilmot Roswell retreat. So we'll showcase our efforts there, and we'll continue getting buy-in from investigators and identifying additional use cases and collaborations to kind of grow this partnership out, and expanding it to University of Buffalo as well. Okay. Shifting gears a little bit, we have 2 questions that we're going to use on Poll Everywhere. The first one aimed at our voucher opportunity feedback. So if you have your phone, I did test it, that it does work from like the front. So hopefully it works in the back too, that you can spin it. And then I will pull up the question, but it is live, so you should be able to answer right away. To see what type of service, if we were to provide a voucher opportunity, what you would like to use it for, whether it's a single cell experiment, a spatial omics experiment, using it on the SARP, a flow experiment. You can answer, you should be able to answer multiple times. This is something that we would take this to research programs to get more buy-in. Eventually, if needed, we could bring this up to leadership and say we have interest from our research community in providing this type of program to help generate pilot data for investigators, or helping them evaluate a new technology that they might want to use in a future grant submission or something like that. So just trying to get some buy-in there. All right, it looks like, I think that might be all we're gonna do. If anybody else has any feedback, you can also, oh, okay. If there are other opportunities that you would like to discuss, feel free to send me an email. I'm happy to receive feedback and kind of help steer any efforts for pilot funding where we see fit. Our next question is just an additional, we ask this in our follow-up survey at the end of each Lunch and Learn, but if there's a topic or a workshop that we can support to help you in your graduate journey or your postdoctoral studies, we're happy to put on a topic that best meets what our research community would like. In the past, I think people have listed mass spectrometry as an option. We do have some upcoming seminars planned. It's not completely filled out, so that's why kind of getting this feedback is helpful for us. We will have a biobank shared resource Lunch and Learn coming up. I think it might be late summer, early fall. But if there's even workshops that would fall outside of the Lunch and Learn, I'm happy to help get those running as well. We do offer some bioinformatics workshops through the Genomic Shared Resource throughout the year. They post theirs on their website. I try and post as many opportunities for workshops and seminars that will serve our Wilmot members on the news and events website for the shared resources, so you can look there for upcoming seminars and workshops as well. All right. Okay. That's this in Google. All right, so this was kind of just a fairly quick lunch and learn. It's an introductory overview. We do have some upcoming seminars scheduled through May. We have the Cancer Research Training and Education Coordination presenting next month. So this is CERTEC. They will help you with your graduate and postdoctoral as well as early investigators in your career development. They provide a lot of different services that help from grant writing and grant applications to outreach efforts. So Nicole Odell will be presenting next month. Most of our seminar series will be held in this room. Next month is in the Ryan case, the case methods room, but usually we'll be here. April, we have flow cytometry presenting on tips and tricks in interpreting flow cytometry data. And then our genomic shared resource will be presenting in May on a topic still being determined. So all of our series will be focusing on spotlighting a service. So if you have a really pressing need for more information about a certain topic, you can reach out to me and I can encourage our directors to present on that topic. Otherwise, I will hopefully have the topics or at least the schedule of which shared resources are presenting when by next month's shared resource lunch and learn. And then finally, I'd like to thank Dr. Vivian Palladoro, a retired URMC clinical pathology administrator and donor to our lunch and learn series. She's our shared resource advocate and helps promote our offerings and services to cancer researchers and other investigators at the university. And if you have any questions or other things you'd like to discuss, we can have an open forum here, or you can follow up with me on email. Thank you. Anybody have any questions?
So the cost, if it go with Roswell Park, very similar, kind of any discount or?
So we'll have a decreased rate, so you won't be charged as an external investigator, but it would fall into a tier where it's still a little bit more expensive than a CCSG member of Wilmot of Roswell, but still kind of within line that it's still competitive and advantageous to use their services rather than an external vendor.
In today's slide, will you share with us?
I can share the slides with you if you I can, so we share the Zoom link, and then if you shoot me an email, I can send you a link to the box file. That works. Yeah, anybody who's interested, I did send an email this morning to those who had registered by like 10 a.m. If you just shoot me an email on that thread, I can forward you the box link and share it there. Yes.
Can you talk a little bit more about the spatial omics grant, or you kind of raised?
Yeah,
I think it's like the first time I heard about it.
the C6 grant or the
ICE.
The I4?
Yeah.
Elizabeth, do you want to talk a little bit more about it, or?
Yeah, so right now, like CMSR is where histology is. We're over in Wilmot. So a lot of the spatial work that we do is pretty disjointed. So this is what's going to kind of centralize all of us together in one spot. We'll also have the biobank just down the hall too. So it allows us to kind of streamline the efforts, make them more efficient, hopefully streamline like submission to us and things like that. So the investigator's not dealing with Jeff Fox and then dealing with me and then dealing with this person, all one spot. Then we want to do validation also. So do some validation assays that we'll have in the area, and also our bioinformatics group to help with analysis. So they're just one floor down as well as part of this initiative. So everybody together to help you go from like experimental design all the way through to figures, papers, data.
So it's kind of like mini core.
Sort of, but all of our genomics services will be moved there as well in this new space. So we'll be doing all the things we normally do in addition to the spatial work that we're like co-localizing here.
Yeah.
Feel free to take more sandwiches before you leave. If you have any questions, you can come up front and I'll answer them, or shoot me an email. Happy to answer anything else.
San Francisco, Secretaria, how do you ask it? Oh, related to you, like, oh.
Bye, Vivian.
Bye.